Hey guys, what's up? This is Opimation, and in this video we're going to be doing a heavy attack animation. So we're going to go right from the start with blocking out. We're going to get the reference. If you check out the previous videos, I talk about the reference, breaking it down, and now we're going to block in all the reference. And this is going to be, a rough block in. We just want to get the weight and everything in the right areas. We want it to start feeling good. It's not going to be completely polished, so it's just getting in the main basic poses in, trying to get the every like 3 frames we're getting the poses in, and we're not worried too much about timing at the moment. It's just getting those clear posing. So let's dive in. Let's play around with this rig. It looks like a fun rig, this one. And yeah, so you'll just see me going through my process. I'll talk here and there about it. A lot of it will be quiet in the animation mode, so you can just see my workflow and see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can pick a few things up. If there are any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Yeah. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, let's get in. All right, guys. So we got our blocking and planning the reference out the way, so we know what we're going to do. So we're spending half our time planning, and now we're going to put those poses in, block it in. So first thing I'll do is I'll just make sure that my interpolations are all, if I select everything, and I'll just delete these. So I want to select these keys and just go here to constant interpolation. So everything is like pose to pose blocked. All right, so what we'll do is we've got our poses. And you'll see me going through here, this side of the monitor to here, just to check my reference out. You'll have your reference, it's all planned. So let's do it. All right, so I'm just gonna go through reference and start posing. Pose it back. All right. So frame 1, everything's keyed here. Next frame, every 3 frames, every 4 frames, completely up to you how you work it. So what I'll do is I'll just get this character back, and my reference, check my reference out. Just rotating. Character backwards. See the reversals. The main arc of the body. Just want to make sure the body is in balance. Pose the arm higher here. Okay, so we've got the anticipation going back, block, block. And then we'll check out our reference. So what we can do here is, normally what I do is, I'll come in here and I might flatten it. Whoops, Control F or flat key there. And then I'll move everything forward 4 3 frames, doesn't matter. And I want to hold that pose. So what I'll do is I'll be like, all right, how far is this pose to the end one? Oh, it's a little bit of a hold. So we want a bit of a moving hold. So maybe this 3rd frame here, number 6. So all you do is with all the controls selected, middle click it, bring it back to 4 and key rotate and key. So there's a bit of a hold there. Yeah? And then I'll just come back, stepped. So now you can see there's a bit of a hold there, right? And you can bring that key back to all 3s as well. So we've got a little anticipation happening there. And then what we'll do, we'll go back to our reference. Always good to check out the reference. Okay. So it's back there, comes up. So there's a passing position. So the next frame, what we'll do is we'll just put that down to 0. So the foot is flat. Bring this in. Now this is where the weight shifts onto that leg. Leaning forward. This leg starts to come up. I might have to turn this around a bit. So it's coming up. Little passing position. Pole vectors too, make sure they're facing where the feet are facing. Otherwise that don't look right, does it? Lift the hip up there. Okay. So we're on the way coming down. Most importantly, he's looking down as well. So he's looking at where he's going to hit, which is very important. Passing position of the arm. So go on. Let's see this. Sometimes it's good to hide the controls. Well, it is good practice to hide the controls actually, because then you can see exactly the mesh. Yeah, so we got it down here. We want to rotate the hips kind of like that, and we want okay, so this arm is coming forward. Let's zero this out. Okay, don't want that to look broken though. Oh, that's better. Okay, and then let's see the weight. This leg. So it's got so let's check this out. So if we flatten this again, the curves, so we can see. Okay, now what we can do, we can move that forward free and be all right, copy this frame 11 to 10. So there's a bit of a hold. And then we'll go back and make it constant. So we've got just an extra hold in there. So we've got our anticipation, back, forward, getting ready, and then impact. Next one, we'll try and do the impact pose, right? So let's try and get that pose going. So if we look, just checking out the reference. Should be fun. All right, so then from there, we want to completely turn this around. So what we want to do, we want it to go completely that way, like that. And we want this foot, we can let's zero out all the rotations. And also in the Y, let's put it to 0 so we know everything's on the floor there. And then here, pole vector, we can bring that into move it forward a bit. Bring this down. And you know what, we'll just rotate this as well. Find the pole vector for that one. Where is that? Bring that back. And then what we want to do now is, there's been an impact. So what we'll do here, we'll rotate this up so it's just about to hit down, because that's what the reference is saying. So we'll come here, and then we'll come down here, bring these down, bring this one down, He's also looking down. And the arm here as well. Push this back here. There, this shoulder. The shoulder, we want that to match. We want that to, there you go, we rotate that. Let's check out the reference as he comes down. As it comes down. Still up. Okay, so we'll get this shoulder down a bit. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it. We'll try and break this joint a bit. Alright, so we're getting a bit of movement there, right? Getting a bit of blocking happening there. So that's all blocked, that's cool. So we got a little bit of a momentum, right? We can see like the blocking is following, like there's a nice arc is following, you know, from here. So what I'm looking at is, so say, let me just type in, get this pen out. Epic pen, right? Let's use this. So you'll see here, let me just erase this. There. See over here you've got the ball, then you've got, you know, the other ball, then you've got arc here. So even while I'm blocking, I'm still thinking about the different, the trajectory of the whole animation. Where is it going to, right? So you've got like a nice arc, and I could put a, like here. So if we select everything here, and I'll just spline it. So even here, I could, if you want to put, a good way I normally do this, if you want to put in-betweens in, you can just spline it or flatten it, move this another 3 frames, and in between here, the computer's, it's not like you want the computer to do it for you. You don't want the computer to animate for you, but it's figuring out a pose for you there. So you can just key this pose here and you can edit it. So then you can be like, all right, maybe you want, if you can key 19 to 16, so key the frame before and be like, have that at 0, 0 that out. Right, 0 that out in X, sorry. Then you're like, all right, now you've got a pose where it comes in here. You can start adjusting this leg, and you can start playing around with like the poses in between to create your in betweens, if you know what I mean. So you're already blocked out, but now you're just refining the in betweens now by you put a pose here, and you've got it in constant interpolation. Then what you do is you flatten it out. So then what you do is, that's what I've done. I flattened out. So I had a pose here, this one and this one. All I did was, this keyframe was at 16. I just moved it to 19. And at 16, I just selected everything and keyed it. And then I started editing the pose. So this is what I'm doing. I'm editing the pose to how I want it. So, and then you can go in and delete. So, like there, the hips. But you can do that later. You can do that later on. So right now we're just posing everything. So here I could be like, move this back. Maybe move this forward a bit because it's going to come to attack. And then move that forward as well because it's going to land and attack. Down as well. And then you can just go select everything and go back to stepped and just see how it feels. And then now you're getting more of an arc now, right? But then here you can be like, all right, I come here and then it's coming out. I don't want it to come out. I want it to go, I want the momentum to go like this. And I want the arm to come forward, you know, I want it come forward and then attack. Then it's going to come like an attack. So then it's going to come forward here. And this is where the next poses. So what we'll do is we'll do the impact pose here. So we'll come here and then we'll do the impact pose is going to be, the chest is going to be bam, opposing, yeah, like that. So then we're gonna arm comes down. Obviously this is gonna be on the floor, so we'll just bang through this. And he's looking as well. Then we'll move this. What we'll do here, we'll move this back. So this arm goes back. Bring it back here, then raise it back like that. So it's balancing, it's trying to balance out. And then we'll move the hips back too, because we want that balance, right? Maybe move this back a bit. There, so we've got a kind of blocking there, right? So you get blocking out those poses. Okay, save that. Always save your work. Bang. So when he bangs on the floor, bang, and then there's going to be an impact. So it bangs and then straight away he comes up. And it's going to be like this leg goes in the air because of the force. Bang. So you're really feeling it. Poof. And then we'll bring this one down a bit. So it's like a the shoulder comes up. So the shoulder's coming up with the impact. The arm is still down. And then the forearm is still coming down. This arm is still kind of holding back. So that's cool. We can just play around with the pose here. Oop. All we're doing is holding this to so create a bit of movement here. You can always sort that out later. And the main thing here is we want to make sure that the weight on this leg feels like, you know, everything's coming on this leg, this one here, the weight. So we want to make sure that that feels real, yeah. So then we'll try and just, that's better. So we get that kind of a C shape going on. So there's a kind of a weight like that. Boosh. So let's put that to 50. So we could got more. Bang. Comes up. Boof. Comes up. And then let's check the reference out. Comes up. Let's check it out. Boof. So poof, and then what we'll do, poof, again we'll go in, right, all of our poses are flattened here, so I'll just flatten these ones out, they're constant, sorry, flatten that out so we can see in between. So there, so we want to hold this pose, so if we bring that out to 6 here, so we can be like, all right, let's go to 23, middle click to 22, back to 22, hold, and then we might want to make this one come up a bit. So hold, poof. Okay, and then we just come in the middle here, key everything, and then put it on stepped again. Then we can, yeah, so there's like a poof impact there. Poof, poof. Oh, and we'll play with the timing later, we're just getting the poses in now. So it's poof, and then poof. What's happening? Let's check the reference out. So he lands. So he lands, bang, poof, up. The hips go up, and then this leg comes down. I'm just zeroing everything out here. Then we can just go back and pose. So this leg comes down while this is still in the air. We could kind of have it come back. Poof. Poof. Let's see what's happening in the reference here. Okay, so bounce. All right, so bounce. And then there's a slight, the upper body is just going up a bit, which is cool. We just make the upper body go up. And then this arm starts to come down. So it's all recovering. So all the energy is starting to come down now. because of the impact. So that's cool. Going down. Okay, so we've got that kind of a cushion where it's going up, and then the foot lands, and then as it lands, the weight shifts, so the weight will be coming on this leg, it comes down. So that's very important too. And then we can kind of come down as well. So let's get the hips down. And we can just start bringing the shoulder back. And bring the arm down. And then the leg. We can sort all that out later. Might want to bring it back a little. Just thinking about the balance here. We put the foot out. Forward, that's it, forward. So it's down. And then obviously that comes up. Okay, so your tax comes back down, and then we basically want it to come back to its idle pose again. So what we'll do from there, we'll just go back here, copy number 1. So we'll select everything, copy and paste, make sure everything on 31 is keyed as well. Then we'll go back, copy and paste that, bring it to 40 or wherever you want around here. And then see, it comes back like that. So then what we'll do, we'll start playing around with this. Now what we'll do is, the next 3 frames, we'll be like, all right, what we want to do, we want to plant these feet. So the next 3 frames, let's plant these feet. So as the body's coming back, we can start playing with the pose. So we can go to the hips and be like, all right, the hips are still coming forward. They're going back, but they're still forward here. And make sure everything's in balance. Okay, there. Okay, rotate the hips, rotate the lower body as the momentum's coming back. Upper body is still forward. Just trying to figure out on this rig where you can independently move, because when I move the torso, everything moves, right? Normally you can get rigs where if I move the torso, the arm don't move. So I'm just countering everything at the moment, which you know, it's a bit annoying, but okay, so bang. And it's whipping back now, right? So it's coming back. Here. So what we're going to do here, we can add a passing position. So you could go up to the side, and then this leg comes up. Move this leg forward. You want a good balance there. So we'll move this leg forward there, so there's a bit more of a, it's more balanced like that, maybe up. There, that's it. And then I want to make sure you got this kind of a C shape happening. The head could still be down. This shoulder raises up, this arm comes up. Maybe this arm comes out for the balance. Rotate the hips back a bit. Up, up. All right. And then move that 4 frames out. Again, you can flatten, see what it looks like. Maybe here you can find a pose here you like, 41, copy it to 40. I'm just moving these keys back so it's on all 3. That's all I'm doing when I copy and paste. So that's all I'm doing. Putting in these poses. Okay, now what I can do now, I can go back and be like, all right, copy that foot so it stays still. So it stays still, and then pivots. Copy the end pose. So there's a poof. So let's get this into stepped. Just keying everything out. Okay. Poof. So you feel the weight a little bit there, but so what we can do is here you feel the weight, so we can rotate this axis and we can kind of move it like that. So there's that sense of weight. So it goes bang. So let's check this out. So if we look at the upper torso, then we move that. So here we could delete that and follow that momentum. Poof. Okay, something wrong there. So let's check that out. So we've got these blocked in. block these all out. Let's see. Poof. So the end bit is quite quick, so bang, and then straight away from there comes forward and quick back. Poof. So he goes poof, and then hold. What we should do is, if we select all of this, move it forward a bit, again, what we're doing here in this space is we're splining or flattening. So we've got poof. Let's delete that. So it goes poof. Or maybe we need poof up. That's it. We need to move that one. Flatten this, and then we want to hold it. We want to hold that. So we want to hold that pose. Delete. Let's delete this. Let's see. Sometimes you have to delete. Bang. Delete that too, actually. So bang, and then back. Okay. Let's check this out. Okay. So if we block that out. So it's bang. So that, let's check out here. Okay, so bang, 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 also okay, that's we want that going in. Okay, so we know from there to there we need a breakdown because that's way too quick. So we'll just add another breakdown in there. So we'll bang. So we're just trying to get the timing right here. So that feels a bit more better because let's just step that. Okay, so now what we can do, so we've got the basic bang, like attack and then back to idle, attack and then back to idle, right? So we've got that basic blocking in. So what we'll do is just go back to animation and I'm just going to visualize the hip movement. What's happening with the hips? So side view is always good for this as well. And then we'll check out the front. Okay. Motion trail, let's check it out. So here we can kind of, what we're doing is we're just kind of checking out the trajectory of how the hips are going, very roughly, you know. Oops, what was that? Wrong one. Let's get rid of that. Don't want to mess the keys up at this stage. So yeah, we've got it. Ah, what's going on there? That's it. So this is your anticipation. Back, back. Comes forward. Bang. Yeah, bang. Bit of a hold there, going up. Hold. Backwards. We can just move this forward a bit, so it's coming up, and then just add in some more keys in here for the hips. But you know what? We don't need these right now. We want to keep it all simple. We can add that in later. That's fine. But really, we just want to keep everything simple at the moment. This distance is covering this quite a lot, so that's what I was concerned with the end. It was covering a lot of, the spacing was very short. So if we look at the hips now, so what we'll do is, let's check the hips out here, and let's just flatten it. All right, and then what we'll do in between, we'll just spline it, Control S. We'll have a look. So we can see how they're moving. Okay, so now what we can do is, if we go to our motion trail in Explorer, delete it, then go back to our control here, and then let's do the edible motion trail again. Let's check it out. Let's check this out. Okay, that feels a bit more even. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll work with that for now. So we've got those poses blocked in. Okay, so we've got those poses. Bang. So there's a bang and then back, and then bang and then back. Bang and then back, right? Bang. And then you will just want to check that the mechanics are all right. And then what we'll do, we'll start refining the poses a bit more. And just balance, check out the balance and everything, see how that's going. All right, guys, so that's the first pass. We're just trying to get a feel for it, get the mechanics right, see if the weight's all right when the leg shift happens and back. So that's what we're doing for the first part. So we're just trying to get a feel for that. Bang, that impact. And then we'll start breaking the poses down more, and we'll start adding more breakdowns in between and playing with the timing just to get it right. But that's the main kind of blocking bases we're going for, and then we'll keep refining as we go. You know, some poses can be refined a bit more. All right, guys, so that's the blocking stage. we'll move on to the actual proper breakdown on the next session. And then after that, we'll start breaking it down more, then polishing it, splining it, what have you. Yeah. So that's the process. All right, guys, I hope you learned something from this, enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share. Be much appreciated. You know, channel's young, it's getting there, but I'm doing these tutorials now. You know, I know there's been a lot of fitness videos out at the moment, but I'm getting back into animation now. So we'll be doing this, and we'll finish this project proper. We'll see it through. All right, guys. So that's part 1. We're just blocking it all out, seeing how it goes. And then the next video, we'll start refining it, adding more breakdowns, you know, getting more of a feel, get the hips working properly, get all the little arcs and everything, you know, feeling right, getting the timing right, playing around with that. So, all right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. And in the meantime, grab this rig as well and animate along with me, you know, just put the link in the description. You can check out the rig there. And also don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You're helping my channel. Thank you. It's growing. Really appreciate that. You guys' support is not going unnoticed. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. So happy animating, and I'll see you in the next video.